everybody, my name is Bragster and welcome back to F1 Manager. This time we are here for the Spanish Grand Prix and the Monaco Grand Prix, but as always we've already played through one of these Grand Prix. We've already played through the Spanish Grand Prix, and may I just say, it went pretty much exactly to plan. Connor, take us through it. Right, so basically we had an issue with Ricciardo's low morale and also his fellow driving instructor having a low morale as well. So we needed to sort that out, so we upgraded the team hub. We then upgraded the scouting department. We basically upgraded a lot of areas that had only one bar on, so we upgraded the boardroom and upgraded the hospitality area as well, just to boost people's morale and keep that at a good level. Going into this race, we were like, we're going to make it into Q3. For whatever reason, we believed we were going to make it into Q3, and we also believed that we were going to get into the top 10. It was going to be a tough ask, but we got through Q1 with pretty much with ease, really, as obviously with the Aston Martins and the Williamses being at the bottom, all we had to do was better one other person, and that other person was Mick Schumacher. Going into Q2 though, we had a crash, and it was a bad one as well. It was a major crash, which then meant that Gasly was out in Q2, which helped us actually get Norris into Q3, because we didn't have to compete with Gasly and because we knew Ricciardo was going to be below Norris. It meant Norris barely had to beat anyone else to get into Q3, and it was brilliant for us. Norris ended up finishing in 7th in Q2, possibly some people being affected by the yellow flag. But going into Q3, at this point, we had made up for everything. We were exactly where we wanted to be. We finished our final lap, and Ocon finished behind us. So we knew we had 9th. It was brilliant. We had 9th and 11th going into this Spanish Grand Prix, and we couldn't ask for anything more. We were in prime position, and to make it work, we had two separate strategies. We had Ricciardo on hards to mediums and Norris on hards, mediums and softs. We thought that going with the two separate strategies, the one stop and the two stop strategy, having those two different ones would mean that we would guarantee ourselves to have somebody in the top 10 by the end of the race. Now, at the very beginning, we ended up making some moves. We had Ricciardo overtaking, we had Norris overtaking. Although Ricciardo did struggle with Ocon for a while, them two were battling it out quite a bit at the start of this race. But Norris was making moves and making moves early, and on that two-stop strategy, that's exactly what he needed to do. Ricciardo, on the other hand, although he struggled to get past Ocon, he decided to overtake Ocon and Bottas at the exact same time, which was amazing to see, which put Norris and Ricciardo right next to each other. And then we had the wonderful thing of Bottas spinning out, which meant that Ricciardo was guaranteed. He was guaranteed that 9th spot, and no one was behind him because all the other cars got held up by the Bottas spin apart from Ricciardo, so that put him in a really good way. Norris, however, wasn't content with being behind the Mercedes and the Alpine. He decided to overtake both at the exact same time on the straight. However, that didn't last very long at all, as they kept trading places over and over. But when we looked at the pit stops and people were pitting before us, because we started on the hard tyres, a lot of other people were pitting before us. We eventually sent Norris into the pits when we were in P4. It was a massive ask to find out where we were going to come out, with Danny Rick being in 7th as well, and actually conserving his hard tyres very well. We were thinking about where will Norris end up, because if he ends up in front or just behind Ricciardo, we were absolutely laughing. He was obviously going to come out behind Ricciardo because the gap wasn't that big enough, but we were looking at Russell and Alonso, the two people who Norris had been battling it out with throughout the entire race. And as you can see, Alonso went past there, but it meant that after the first pit stop, we came out in 9th. Danny Rick then, in his pit stop, ended up going into the pits around that 9th mark. He ended up coming out in 15th. So he ended up being in a really good position because Ricciardo didn't have to stop past this point, and a lot of other people did, including Norris. Norris, who managed to build up into P5 going into the pit lane for the final stop of his race. And this was the make or break point for Norris. We had to find out where in the world is Norris going to come out of these pits, because wherever it was pretty much where we were going to end up at the end of this race. So he ended up coming out, and he ended up coming out just in front of Alonso, which was really, really good to see, and put him in a really great position. And Norris wasn't done there, though. He ended up taking over Russell. We didn't think it was possible, but on these softer tyres, really pushing on these softer tyres right at the end of the race, meant that he could overtake Russell and take that 6th spot. And he did exactly that. He finished the race very comfortably in that 6th spot. And Danny Ric was miles behind Alonso, miles ahead of Bottas, and it made sure that he was comfortably in that 9th position. It was an incredible, incredible race for us. Both strategies ended up working. We put them on different strategies, hoping that one of them would pay off really well and end up in a high position. In the end, we ended up having one in a really high position and the other one still picking up points, which just meant that we got our strategies perfect. Yeah, if you look at the results here and you look at the Drivers' Championships, we were in a really good way. Ricciardo and Norris picking up some points. Norris going up to 7th in the Drivers' Championships. But I don't think that's the most important element here in terms of what we need. We needed to look at these Constructors' Championships, which if you look, we gained so many points that we were ahead of the Alpines and the Alfa Romeos by quite a lot. And that race meant that Ricciardo got a development point, which we put on cornering for him. So now you know what happened in Spain, it's now time for the Monaco Grand Prix. A Grand Prix that, if I remember correctly, doesn't involve much overtaking and means that qualifying is going to be mightily, mightily important. For us, that's a bit annoying because we usually don't do very well in qualifying and then make it up in the race. So, yeah, we pretty much need to get someone into Q3, which is not good for us whatsoever. But going into the race, we need to have a look at these slots. Now, I mean, reach Q2 is going to happen. We know that. We're fine. Maybe put an incentive to reach Q3, although there's already an incentive there to reach Q3, so maybe just leave it and then let's not get the fastest lap. There's not a lot of incentives. Usually there's a lot more than this. But we've got one to finish in the top 10. The other one's to finish in the top 12. So if we qualify in the top 12, which traditionally we do, we should get that hot streak bonus. And in terms of finishing position in top 10, I'm not too confident, but we've got a chance. I've just sent them both out at the same time. That was not smart. That was not smart at all. Yeah, they coming out together. That's really not smart. I might have fucked up Q1. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, do they get stuck in traffic? Do they get stuck in traffic? Kind of. Why do we need to refuel so much? I'm not in control of the refueling. I haven't got a clue. But they're being called in anyway, so it's fine. Okay, there we go. We sent them out. They are next to each other yet again. Somehow Norris is behind Ricciardo, even though I sent out Norris first, but that's fine. Oh, we've definitely finished above Mick. Oh, that's brilliant. If we've definitely finished above Mick, then we're fine, because we'll finish above the Williamses and we've finished above Snowden as well. So yeah, we're absolutely fine. They don't need to go into green. We're fine. So wonderful. There we go. And Norris is in P10. So if we can replicate that in Q2, we've got a chance. We've got a chance. There's a grid penalty here for Gasly, so I think Gasly's going to really have to try and work hard to get a high position. That happened from practice. I don't really know what happened in practice for that to happen, but something happened. Ricciardo's definitely not been held up, and neither has Norris, so that is actually huge. Although Ricciardo is catching up with everyone else, so Ricciardo might get held up a little bit, but Norris is completely fine. yeah, Ricciardo did get held up a bit. So Ricciardo's not going to have a good time, but Norris might. Norris might have a decent time. Although there's been a crash, which means we have to slow down in sector 3.
Just had a crash on the track.
Schumacher's had a crash. Is he going to be out the session then? I mean, I would have preferred someone else because I think we can out-qualify him, but oh, that's annoying, that. So that might cost Norris a little bit. We're going to see kind of, remember, like 110 was kind of, I'm going to get annoyed at that notification. 110 was what it was last time, and we were good. I'm really going to get annoyed at that notification. But yeah, they both got held up because of the yellow flag and because of being held up in general. So not great start, I have to admit. Okay, they're green. They're green, so that's good because they actually started off well in the last run and then dropped off towards the end. So if they've... we do not need to refuel. We are fine. We are fine. That's really going to bug me every goddamn time. But that final sector is where we're going to make up a lot of time because of the yellow flag. Norris is going to cross the line. It didn't improve that much, which is really, really frustrating. But we're above Ocon, which is a surprise, really, because we don't usually out-qualify Ocon. Danny Rick is currently in a lot of trouble, but he does manage to get back up. So, but unfortunately, Joe ends up going above us, and I think Mick is trailing somewhere. He went out super duper early, did Mick. So I wonder whether Mick held people up, and then maybe that was the plan. But we should be finishing starting P11 and P13. If that is the case, I think we're in a good enough position to possibly get top 10, but it's going to be very, very hard in Monaco. Actually, one thing I did forget was Gasly's grid penalty. So if Gasly's grid penalty is big enough, Norris might end up in the top 10, which would be huge for us. Right, again, very rare, but I'm going to go with the exact same strategy for both. They did end up both going up a position. So Norris is in the top 10 now going into this race because of Gasly's grid penalty. But I'm going to go with the same strategy, hards to softs. To be completely honest with you, I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what to do for this race because overtaking doesn't happen that often. So I'm kind of just presuming that you're not really going to overtake anyone. So I'm going with this strategy. It could change if a safety car comes in, but to be honest, guys, I haven't got a bloody clue.
And it's lights out.
Right, here we go. It's going to be really, really... Oh, I clicked the wrong one. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Gasly's ended up starting in 17th. Norris has ended up losing a couple of positions already, which is not what you want to see. A lot of people starting on soft. Are a lot of people starting on... A lot of people are starting on softs. So... I probably should have put one on softs to hards. In hindsight, that's what I should have done. But
that's a position gained for Alpha
yeah, this is going to be a slog of a race. I can tell you that now, because if everyone's starting off well and we're not, we're in a lot of trouble. Starting off on the hards worked last time. It's not working this time. I'm not gonna lie. I have a horrible feeling I have messed up on strategy already. Just because they're in P12 and 14 at the moment. It's really not looking good for this race already. For those of you thinking, wait a minute, Connor, 20 laps have gone by and you're still sat on the same screen. It's because 20 laps have gone by, I'm still sat on the same screen, and we are all still in the same position. When they say that overtaking doesn't really happen on this track, I didn't realise the extent to which it doesn't happen on this track. Nothing is happening, we are a third of the way through, and nothing is happening to us. The only thing that is happening to us is the fact that our little train has caught up Tsunoda because Ocon has caught up Tsunoda, and now Ocon has taken Tsunoda. So that's the only benefit, I guess, is There's a chance that we could end up in the top 10, but Tsunoda's lost ground with Ocon already, so it's not going to happen. If you need me, just text me, and the likelihood is nothing will be happening, so... Do you know what? This is the most interesting thing that's happened in this race. So the clerk has ran wide, has he? How much did he run wide? How can you run wide on this track, by the way? That was him running wide. That was him running wide. I'm losing the plot. I'm not going to lie. Because nothing's happening. We've lost 10th to Zhou. Yeah, Norris is losing ground. Everyone's losing ground. We're not in a great position. We might be able to go a bit more aggressive on the tyres now. But it's not looking great. It's really not. We're about to get lapped by Verstappen. We've just been lapped by Verstappen. We're not in a great position again. We've had a crash. Oh, this could be good. Who's crashed? Give us who's crashed, because I'm telling you, with 52 laps in, and this is the most interesting thing that happened. Ocon crashed. Get in. Right. Please be bad. Please be a bad crash. It's bad. It could be bad enough. It could be bad enough. It could be bad enough. Is it bad enough, or is Ocon fine? Ocon seems fine. Norris has gone above him, though. Ocon is struggling massively. Ocon, stop the car. Ocon, stop the car. Ocon, stop the car. Ocon, mate, stop the car. Ocon, 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 Ocon. We're in a train behind Ocon. It's ruined Ricciardo's race. Ricciardo's screwed. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. I'm fine. I feel fine. Everything's fine. Ricciardo is 17 seconds behind because of what's happened to Ocon. Although what's happened to Ocon has opened the door for Norris. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. Yes, we're pitting this lap for the softs. Have him attack and push. Ocon's now in the pits. Ocon has finally made it to the pits. I was kind of hoping he would stop so we got a safety car and then our pits really wouldn't matter. But hey ho. What's the problem with the car? Oh, the tyres is the problem. That's fine because we're pitting this lap. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Where are we meant to come out, actually? That's something that I haven't really... 13th. So we're meant to come out around Ricciardo. So... Come on, Norris. Right, we're hoping to come out in a decent position. And then on the softs, we can do some really... We can do some damage, is the hope. But I don't know whether we can or not. So, Norris has come out in 12th. I don't know where Danny Rick's going to come out. He's probably going to, like, be screwed somewhere. He's not in a good position. New fastest lap. Norris doing fastest lap. What's this? What is this in the Matrix? Jesus Christ, Norris. Yes, my boy. Outdoing all the big boys. And the big boys are on the harder tyres. No one's on the soft, so we're probably going to get fastest lap now. Oh, that's made my day. That has made my day. I don't care that we're not getting points because we're getting a point. We should be for the fastest lap. So at least we got that going for us. Because that's the one thing is them being all on hards and us being on softs. The only difficulty is we just don't. I don't know how we're going to get past them because we can't really overtake on this track, let alone overtake two people at the same time. So I don't know how we're going to overtake, and that's more the problem. But if we can overtake and we can find a spot on the track to overtake, Norris is in good state because he's outpacing everybody at the moment. Norris has taken Tsunoda. Come on, Norris. Come on, Norris. Come on, Norris. This might turn from a really poor race into a good one just because... Oh, Norris is in points. Norris is in... Red alert, people. Norris is in points. So, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. I'm saying it now. I am a genius. So, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. I'm an absolute genius. Because we've got to think, we've been lapped, haven't we? So the likelihood is, yeah, because we've been lapped, we're going to finish a lap earlier. So we've got to bear that in mind when it comes to trying to get Zhou. But look, we've got this. We've got this. We're on the softer tyre. There's a chance, people. There's a chance. Danny Rick is screwed. We know Danny Rick's screwed because of Ocon. So, but Ocon's... Oh, Norris is right next... Is that Norris right next to Zhou? Oh, more points, more points, more points, more points. We've lost ERS because we tried to overtake. And the overtake, I think, worked. Did it actually work? Did we manage to save up just enough? We managed to save just enough. Oh, it's touch and go. It's touch and go. Come on, Norris. Come on, keep it. Keep it, Norris. Keep it. Keep it. I think he's managed to keep it. Oh, my days. I think we've managed to keep it, which is huge. Quite frankly, 9th is... we can't get 8th. We're too far behind. So getting 9th is actually huge because we get that plus the fastest lap. We're laughing at this point. Absolutely laughing if this is what we get because Ricciardo got screwed, which is a shame because I think he might have been all right in the end. But... oh, it's one of those situations where if Ricciardo didn't get held up, I wonder where he would have gotten to. So, Verstappen's on the last lap, his last lap now, so this should probably be our last lap. But I'll wait until Verstappen finishes before I do anything in terms of changing what happens to us, because I think once Verstappen finishes, then the rest of our lot will finish. But yeah, Ricciardo's not had the best of times this time. But the story of the day is Norris. Norris has managed to bring it out of nowhere and not only get us 9th and get us points, but get us the fastest lap as well. Oh, what a man. What a man. And it only happened because we pitted after everybody else and we were in clean air for the entire lap.
Okay, that's a checkered flag.
I don't know how we've managed to conjure up that one, but I'm annoyingly proud of it. And there we have it. We ended up getting the fastest lap with Lando Norris. Ricciardo ended up losing a few places. Norris ended up going up 1. There wasn't much movement at all, apart from really Ocon going backwards and Ricciardo going backwards, but that was because of Ocon and Magnussen and Gasly benefiting. But if only we'd had a better start, because we did lose a few places at the start. So if only we had a better start. Looking at the drivers' championships now, we've had Bottas go 2 above us, Lando Norris go 2 down, because it's very, very close between Norris, Alonso and Bottas. So that keeps switching around. If we look at the constructors though, those points do keep us ahead. They do keep us in 4th, and we are like still 9 points ahead of 5th. So we are still in a very, very good position in the constructors for definite. In the drivers, I think we can do a little bit better, but it's the constructors that we get judged on. And I actually remembered to give Duhan a chance in practice, so he's actually got a development point, which is nice to see. Finally, a development point, because I had previously forgotten to make sure he did practice 1. So at least he's got 1 though. I mean, smoothness is really, really low on Duhan, so we're gonna have to improve smoothness to the end of time with him. We are disappointed. We had a great race. I don't know why you're disappointed. I don't know why they're disappointed. We actually ended up doing reasonably well. Yeah, I haven't got a clue. Why. But next time around, we are in Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we are there in Canada for the Canadian Grand Prix. So we got those 2 Grand Prix in the next one. Fingers crossed there'll be more overtaking and stuff in the next one, because that Monaco Grand Prix, apart from those few little moments, and it does have its moments, the Monaco Grand Prix, but apart from those moments, a lot of the time I was skipping forward because you're waiting for a moment to happen. But yeah, we will have the Azerbaijan Grand Prix and the Canadian Grand Prix in the next one. Hopefully there's more points, and hopefully Lando Norris can keep up his momentum and keep being the MVP that he was in this episode. But yeah, hit that like button, comment anything down below, and if you're new here, please do subscribe for more stuff like this, and I shall see all of you in the next video. See ya! Norris is a legend, an absolute legend in this episode. What a performance.